I just think that we need to stick to our guns and the rights that were originally put in place. And I trust the leadership that put those laws in place, and I'm okay just to let it be.
I believe it's a fundamental constitutional right that we have in order to protect us, me, my property, and my family.
You have roughly two guns
Right.
per U.S. adult.
Right.
And so, what gun legislation do you think would actually work in cutting down on gun crime?
I don't know that there is any legislation other than it appears that maybe we do need slightly longer screening periods.
When the Founding Fathers said that the people's right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, do you think that was a suggestion? Do you think that was a right that they wanted us to have forever, all American citizens?
I think that was written 250 years ago, and its relevance today may be slightly different.
Do you feel the same way about the First Amendment?
Right. If you applied that same logic, then do you think that free speech should only be protected in print newspaper and not broadcast television and on social media?
Free speech is more what's politically correct in the modern day and what isn't. That's what free speech is to me, But when the laws were written 250 or whenever they were written, the spirit of how they were written is different than it is today. Fast forward to
what would you say is outdated then about Americans' right to self-protection, self-preservation? What is outdated about that concept?
And being able to say whatever they want, whenever they want, to whoever they want. What's outdated? I don't know. Times are different. 250 years ago, there weren't cars, there weren't street lights. But we have them today. They're restricting cars from driving up and down the road willy-nilly and doing whatever they want. So fast forward modern day, maybe there's...
Well, perhaps
I'm not saying that I agree with...
Perhaps if transportation, if that was like a constitutional right, there would be a different discussion there, but it's not.
We're one of the few countries that allows this to go on.
Yeah.
It's
That's
horrifying.
because we have the Second Amendment, right? So do we just not believe in the Second Amendment? It is to protect yourself against the possibility of tyrannical government.
Old amendment built and designed.
Is the First Amendment old?
No.
But they were written at the same time.
That's all right. But they didn't know what they know. If I can tell you, if the Founding Fathers knew then what they know, what we have now as far as semi-automatic weapons, they never would have written that law. It's an archaic law. Some of our laws are good. That one is not good.
And so we just don't think that the Second Amendment's relevant today at all?
I don't
the
think
possibility
it's
of tyrannical
relevant
rule?
to possessing AR-15s.
You're saying AR-15s, but you just believe pretty much all guns.
That type of a weapon. I mean, there's no use for it.
A lot of people say that the Second Amendment was only to protect muskets and rudimentary rifles. What do you say to those people that say that it doesn't protect these newer guns that are more advanced?
Well, they didn't exist back then. So clearly they couldn't have accounted for an AR-15 that didn't exist back then, right? It just existed. The whole point is so regular people can defend themselves against the government. So imagine China people would love to have weapons right now, right? Look what's going on over there. And all these other crazy, stupid countries. In Venezuela and Germany, the first thing they did is get rid of guns. And then all of a sudden they're burning the Jews all over the place. So, it's not a matter of the type of gun. It's a matter, you don't need to have a Gatling gun, I guess, would be the bigger upside. Or the fully automatic, those have to be registered with the ATF. That's different. But semi-automatic guns, it just means it works every time you pull the trigger.
Yeah, and you have to apply, I think, the same logic of the Second Amendment that you do to other amendments. Right? If it was just rudimentary firearms and muskets, then how do you apply that same logic to the First Amendment? Are we only going to protect free speech on print newspapers and not broadcast television and social media? We have to adjust with the times and protect people's rights no matter what we're talking about. It's the right of the person and the right to protect themselves and the right of the people, not just the government. If it was the right only of the government, I think we'd be in a tough place. If the government told us everything that we could do, right, they could lock us in our homes. They could close down our churches. They could shut down our economy. I don't want to get to that dystopian future. Hopefully we never get there, right, James?
Free speech is all specifically about talking against the government.
You're absolutely
So
right.
it's not talking between you and I. We just walk away. But the whole speech they're trying to limit is the ability of people to talk against what the government says.